Hello everyone, and how do you think some evolution stuff and information about how we were formed, it is helpful for our nowadays life? It can make our life more comfortable or not. Sounds really very abstract, but it's actually are. Yeah, absolutely. So I will give you an example, and I will describe you a Jacobson relaxation muscles technique. This technique can help us to struggle with fears, with anxiety, which can help us to make our life more happy and effective. I actually read few books about this. I started to work on my emotional state, on my psychological state, because I had some problems, and I started to work almost 3 years ago, and I studied with psychotherapists. I have completed some psychological psychotherapist courses, watched a lot of lectures, and I recognize that this technique, specifically this technique, is actually very popular in the whole world. So I use it and it helped me, and I want to share it with you. Maybe it will help you. So let's start with a global concept of this method, and this concept assumes that we need to tense every group of muscles in our body. We can start with one, then do another group, and then we can combine them, and finally we need to do simultaneously all groups in our body. So we need to tense group of muscle for 10 seconds as strong as possible, and then relax. And very important point that we need to visualize our relaxation. We need to actually really chill in a pause. And it is very important. So now I want to show you this technique in few group of muscles. So in according to an Anxiety Canada, we know that this technique requires us to tense some group of muscles really strongly for 10 seconds. So let's start with our wrists. Let's train it and tense for 10 seconds. Then we need to relax. Just imagine that you are on a beach and you need to really relax for 30 seconds. So then we can do it with our elbows, for example. Then do it. Actually, tense our biceps and other muscles groups. So do it for 10 seconds, then relax. It's important. Relax, visualize. So then we can make a combination. So our wrists, elbows, do it. So for example, we can do it on our face too, in every group of muscles. So if you wanted to tense your cheekbone muscles and adjustment places, so you need to clench your teeth and expand your smile as broad as possible. 10 seconds and 30 seconds to relax. So it's some examples for you to, then you can continue and do it for a whole group of muscles and finally for whole body, and this relaxation will help you. So, and very important point, one more point, that we need to understand why it's actually working, why our body can feel itself better after this technique. And answer is that according to psychologists that come. Our body, our brain were created by evolution for surviving, and when people in old times face some stress, it was actually predator, and they had two reactions: fight or flight. So, and this tension for our muscles were created for fight, for use it, and or for run, for use it. So it's tension actually used in all times. But now in the modern world, we had problems in our work, and we are having stress, and life created a tension for our muscles, but we don't have predators, and we don't need to run. So, and it creates an anxiety states in our body. And in conclusion, I want to say that science are developing and trying to create some stuff for making our life better, and this technique is a good example of how science do its job. And this very important points in this technique is that we need to firstly separately tense our muscles in our body, then do all muscles simultaneously, tense it and relax. This cycle is good. And where also very important is that we need to understand truly reason of it, why it's working, why it's healthy for our brain, our body. So, and world in which we were created, our brain were created, and world where our brain live now, it's actually very different worlds. And I believe that understanding of principles, evolution principles, and mechanism can make our life, our performance in life very, very good. Thank you for your attention.